So we both serve here at ICC Nairobi, which is International Christian Center Nairobi. We're a Kenya Assemblies of God congregation, and we have a passion to serve young people and make sure that our ministry is effective, it's impactful. And so that's how we stumbled upon Alpha as one of the things as we're praying through what would it look like for us to have meaningful impact on the students that come to our church every Sunday. During COVID, we said, why don't we run Alpha? And at that time, we were running it on Zoom.
True.
We would never, quite honestly, we would never have considered the impact Alpha would have to our youth ministry and then on the larger community as well.
So, Alpha, I think I recall just recently, sometime last year, got the privilege to do the Holy Spirit weekend with some students from Daystar who ran Alpha. Some of the students come to a church, and I remember the conversation in the room in that house, somewhere in Athi River, and just the curiosity they had and the hunger that they had to experience and meet with the Holy Spirit. And I remember the time for prayer and just seeing the genuine hunger for young people encountering the Holy Spirit, and just, you know how sometimes you see like a light just shines on someone's face when they meet with Jesus, or the answers have been met or to their questions, and just the joy and the beauty of seeing young people hungry for Jesus actually encountering Jesus and the Holy Spirit. And I think that for me as a pastor is the core of why I do the work, where you see young people genuinely encounter the love and the joy of salvation and the beauty of companionship and comfort coming from the Holy Spirit. And I don't want to cry because I have gangster points. The truth is here.
I'm definitely going to cry when I talk about the impact Alpha has had in our teens ministry. I became a teens ministry leader. I was 23. I was so scared, and I don't even know what possessed my leaders to think I would be an amazing teens leader. But I remember just that anxiety of feeling like I'm a 23-year-old. Will the parents respect me? Will I have authority over the children? Literally, I'm telling you, Gen Z does not look like me when I was a teen. They're just more beautiful, more bold, more innocent. I really felt like I was going to shrink at that presence. And I remember part of me praying about discipleship material really came from my own inability, my own inadequacy of feeling like I'm not enough. And so when Linda started doing Alpha with Master's Commission, I was sitting in some of those classes, and then now we started doing it. Really, this would make me tear up because I finally felt like I wasn't alone in ministry. Somebody had done the work. It was beautiful. Oh my God, the Canadian Alpha, which is the Alpha that we run with the beautiful drone shots, and they're shooting it in all these different countries. And the kids really felt like they were watching a Netflix documentary, because sometimes Christian things the quality is not the best. But this quality was incredible, and it was top notch. And so the beauty of knowing that this was a resource that was done by believers to ensure that other believers believed. I really felt as a youth worker that I wasn't alone. So as a 23-year-old, Alpha really bolstered my confidence. And in the 3 years that I've used Alpha since then, I have amazing stories of teenagers who have said yes to Jesus. So the first time we ran an Alpha for about 200 people. So all our teens did Alpha at the same time. And then after that, we just sort of did a call of salvation. We said, who wants to, give their life to Jesus? And 10 guys, 10. You know how it feels when you've led somebody to Jesus? Just that God would choose to use me in that was so special. And we got to baptize.
Yeah, remember last year?
Yeah, we got to baptize 10 of them. And then last year when we did Alpha, it was our first time we did sort of the Holy Spirit weekend. For session 7, I believe 6, 7, and 8. And then we did this prayer at the end where we're meant to pray, and the students can ask the Holy Spirit to come into their hearts. Let me just tell you, there's something so special, like you're saying, about watching a young person be ruined for everything else but Christ. There was something so beautiful about that moment, and I didn't even know how special it is. I felt it in that moment, but when the parents after that texted and said, oh my goodness, 2 of my students have just gotten filled with the Holy Spirit. And they're speaking in tongues. Or, just those moments to me are priceless. It's like you're saying, it can be so weary being in youth ministry or in teens ministry because you never see the results of what you're doing. But when you have a resource like this and you can see tangible change, it's very encouraging. So I'm really grateful to have a resource that empowers me to disciple the next generation in really beautiful and meaningful ways.